What is up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of The Sarah B Show. Yeah. Hey, guess what? I'm here. I'm not sobbing. I'm not a puddle of tears. I'm not a giant angry blob. I'm not feeling vindictive or pissed off. I mean, a little bit. But listen, I'm here. I sound pretty decent, I think, for what I've been going through. I'm sure all of you are like ready and waiting to be like, what's she going to be like after this episode? Well, sorry for the little hiatus. I thought the last episode was, pretty powerful. I was going through some stuff for sure. So I was like, I'm just going to let this one ride for a couple of weeks. I think that's smart. And I'm not going to lie, like coming to record this one, I'm like, where do I go from there? Definitely like an update, let you guys know what I've been going through, how I've been dealing, how I've been coping, letting you know I'm still here. I'm still with you guys, believe it or not. But it was definitely a hard one to follow up. I haven't even, I've had so many people reach out about it. I'll just say that really quickly. Well, first of all, thank you. That is officially the most listened to episode I have. My very first episode, the Hi, I'm Sarah B and I'm a podcaster. That has been my number one listened to episode. Until this one, which has literally like officially doubled that now. So it's kind of crazy. I know a lot of people have been talking about it and sharing it with other people that are going through similar things and just listen to this kind of thing. And I just want to say thank you, everyone, because I've had so many people reach out. I don't think I've ever had this many people reach out about anything in my entire life, and it feels kind of crazy and kind of amazing. I just have had so many messages, so many comments and emails and voicemails. I swear to God, I don't think I've even gotten to half of them yet. And I'll try to go and answer some and then more come in. And I'm just I feel like I'm never going to catch up here. So I just want to give a big general thank you to everyone. I've had family, friends, complete strangers reach out and just, give me their stories, their experiences, their feedback, words of wisdom, just sympathy, just everything. To say I have a support system, a good support system is underwhelming. I have a freaking support ecosystem. I have a support universe, and I never realized that. I've always said, I don't have a lot of friends. I only have a couple of close ones and some acquaintances, but I'm amazed. It's unbelievable the amount of people that have come forth with this, and I've needed it so bad. And 35 years, this has definitely been the hardest month of my life for obviously all the reasons I told you guys. But yeah, I thought things were hard before, and I'm like, no, this is it. And then, I'm sure there's going to be moments in life that are way worse than this too. But here it is. I have officially dealt with the shittiest month of my life at 35. So, and I got through it. I'm getting through it. So anyway. Again, thank you to everyone who's reached out. I've heard some amazing stories. I'll share some of them with you on here. I think I could do a 2 or 3 hour episode just reading through all the things that I've gotten so far. And as well as people that have donated stuff, for reasons of trying to get out of the lease, of getting back on my feet. I, made some Team Sarah B shirts as a joke, just, to get some money going for it. And you guys were like, you know what, I'm never going to wear this shit. So basically, can we just donate the money to you? And, we'll get into that all, but just thank you guys so much. So you know what, let's get right into it. I'm going to go into stuff that you guys have been doing for me, which has been great. I'm going to go into just an update of everything that's been going on at home, living with Satan himself. Just kidding, kind of. I'm going to go into how I've been dealing with everything and just, everything is different for everyone, but here is my journey, Sarah B's guide to healing through a breakup.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in places that could expose you to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, their US-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
All right, so I want to start off again by saying thank you again to everyone that has just, come forth, donated, given me time, given me just, like I said, words of wisdom, advice, their own experiences, complete strangers sharing their raw experiences and stories with me. That is honestly helped so much. Like, on one hand, it's like, my God, like, everybody's gone through this. Like, people are just shit. Like, why would I ever want to love or trust again? But also, like, it really helps you heal, showing that, like, people have been through exactly what you've been through, and sometimes way, way worse, you know, and they've gone through it. They're back on their feet many years later, so much happier. And so just hearing stories like that from you guys has helped so much. I want to shout out one woman who wrote me an email, and I never responded. I need to. It's just, again, it's been overwhelming. It's been so many. I'm so sorry, everyone. But she reached out and said, basically, she was like the same guy that John was. Like, described him, and he was like spot on verbatim. If I remember right, I swear she said they were married for like 12 years or something like that. It was a lot longer than even John and I had been together. And basically the same stuff. And she said, like, you know, he was a narcissist. She was always trying to, like, be the people pleaser, trying to make sure it would work, you know, never giving up, just like me. And she's like, you know what? He dumped me. And she said, I don't think I would have ever been able to do it myself. I think I would have stayed there in that toxic relationship forever, because I would have never been able to do it myself. And that's what she said, too. When he broke up with her, she had done everything. She was always there. And then he left her, and it was just like shock and unbelievable and just absolute heartbreak. And not to mention that, but like, I think she said it was either 2 weeks or 2 months later. Either way, that's still very quick. He was already with another girl and ended up getting her pregnant when he didn't want, like, you know, kids and stuff like that with her. Oh my God, I can't even imagine. So like I said, just complete strangers sharing their stories like that with me. It's crazy. So my heart literally goes out to all of you guys. You know, so many people have reached out saying they're going through the same thing right now, going through divorces, going through breakups, just ugly and mean, and just, you know what? I'm so sorry. I am. It sucks. This really sucks. It sucks when the person that you've confided everything in and just, like, literally have given your whole heart to just completely stabs it with a freaking dagger and just doesn't care, like, just watches you suffer and die. Like, it's hard. It's really, really difficult when somebody you loved and thought you were going to spend forever with does things like that. Like, it sucks. But just know there's a lot of us right now, and we are all in this together. We're all in this together. Let's just all go watch High School Musical and hold hands, okay? But no, for real, it really helps knowing that other people are going through the same stuff, and we can all, you know, seriously be in this together and help each other and support each other. So I'm going to keep trying to get back to all of your messages and comments. And I even have, like, family members that have messaged me, and I've seen their names pop up, and I just haven't even had the time. I have not had the time to get back, and I need to. I really need to. So anyway, again, thank you. And again, I said all the donations too that have been coming in, and people that have been buying the Team Sarah B shirt, all the extra support on OnlyFans, like, you guys, oh my God, unbelievable. Thank you. And I will say there's been some, like, really significant ones too, and I just at first was freaking out because I'm me, and I get very guilty, and I feel bad, and I feel like I don't deserve these things. And I had one of my best friends told me, and she is, you know, very well off and has done very good for herself, and very proud of her. And she is like, you know what, I love to do things like this as well. And as somebody who likes to do things like this, and when you can, just know it's because you can, and you want to help, and you're wanting to give this help. And basically, like, just be grateful for it. Just show gratitude. When somebody gives a gift like this, like, they don't want you to say you feel bad or feel guilty. Like, that's not what you want to hear. And when I put myself in that position, I'm like, you're right. I wouldn't want to hear that either. So, you know, just, I am so grateful. The gratitude I feel is just unbelievable. And I am just so thankful for all of you guys. So anyway, enough of that. I love kissing your asses. You guys have all been amazing, seriously. And the support continues to come in, and I really love it. So thank you. Let's see. That being said, let's get into, I guess, how the last few weeks have been. Personally, like I said, whenever John told me he needed space, those 2.5 weeks that we just really didn't talk hardly at all, and, you know, was going through the whole thing with my mom, I just kind of knew in my heart that it was over at that point. Like, I braced myself, I think, for the breakup. When he told me he needed space like that, like, I took that as he's done, which obviously was the right thing to do because he was. But I think from that point, I started treating it like it was a breakup and started trying to heal at that moment and move forward already, because I just kind of knew in my gut that that was it. So I think when he did break up with me and I didn't freak out, I didn't get angry, I didn't get sad or cry or, like, act like, you know, have some big ordeal happen right in front of him, I think it probably shocked him because he's like, wow, I really expected more than this, but I had already begun to grieve and have my angry phases and heal through that. Something, again, I don't know if I said this in the last podcast, that has helped me greatly is, and I never thought I would say this because people used to say this and I would be like cringe inside because I'm just like, oh, that doesn't work, or oh, you're one of those people. But meditation, y'all, like, and I'm going to say right now, like, I am not good at it. I have like insane ADHD. Oh my God, like I'm that person that will get on Instagram to like find something or to look at something, and the second it pops up, there's a reel and I get distracted and I'll be on there scrolling for 30 minutes and forget what I ever was even going to do. Like, or, you know, I hear a noise and my mind starts wandering. Like I can't. So when you do meditation, you know, it's about breathing, not thinking about anything. Any thoughts that come in your head, you push them out, no distractions. It's difficult, but it really, really helps. And like, it's all about like in moments where you feel like insane anger or sadness or any kind of crazy feeling, like you just come back to your breath. You know what I mean? Just close your eyes, breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, and just count your breath for a minute. Like, it really does help. And what I personally use, and it's the only app I've ever, I think, paid for, is the Headspace app. I really love it. It is pricey, and I'm always broke, but I will say I just resubscribed for a third year. That's how much I swear by this app, especially for somebody that doesn't even know where to begin with meditation or how to do it. They have like all this self-guided meditation, and it's helped me so much because they also have a search bar where even this past few weeks, I've went and typed in like massive panic attack or like extreme depression or like losing everything or specifically dealing with a breakup. And they have a whole like 10-session course on dealing with a breakup. It's like 12 minutes a day for 10 days. And their instructors are great. They talk you through everything. It's helped me so much. I'm actually doing the breakup course again for a second time now. But it just teaches you so much like about acceptance and, you know, accountability and specifically patience. Because I think that's what I've been doing a lot of is I was trying to rush through the healing process. Like, just get me through this. Let me get on the other side. Let me feel better. I don't want to feel this feelings anymore. And that's what it teaches you is like, you can't do that. You have to be patient. You have to feel all of this, every feeling that there is, and don't rush it. Like to get through to the other side and, you know, come up better and really, really like heal yourself. You got to feel it all. It sucks. Oh, it sucks so much. I'll say I think the first 2 weeks for me were completely grieving it. I had a good friend that I used to work with at REI reach out to, and she's like, don't rush this. Really, don't. Grieve as much as you possibly can, whatever way you can, grieve. And I did. I was a bawling, blubbering mess for 2 effing weeks. And I still have these moments. Like, I feel a lot stronger now. I feel really good, and I'll get to that. I'm surprised I feel this good this quickly. I say quickly, a few weeks, but I'll still be sitting there watching something. Like, I was watching it was Gilmore Girls. I can't stop watching, you guys, but I was watching it, and there was a guy that like was going like bending over backwards, and it's just a TV show, but for this girl that he liked to try to impress her mom that only wanted her to date like a Korean guy that was going to be a doctor. And you know what I'm talking about if you've watched this. But basically, it just like made me start bawling out of nowhere because I'm like, look, this guy is doing everything for a chance to date her. And like my guy for 5 years couldn't even do anything for me. You know, it's just little things that trigger you and set you off like kind of when you least expect it. But anyway, I grieved for 2 weeks. I cried so much, and I never let him see me. I tried not to, you know, I would make it to my room. I'd be doing my meditation and I'd just start bawling through it, like just crying. I think the 3rd week for me is when I finally started feeling anger, like a lot of anger. And it took a lot of self-control to not like just lash out on him and say crappy things and just like fly off the handle for whatever reason. But with the anger actually came the roller coaster. And something else I did, like, if you ever Google like how to get through a breakup or talk to your therapist, everyone will tell you there's stages. There's like 5 stages or 7 stages or something that you go through. There's like denial, and then there's bargaining, and then like sadness, anger, acceptance, depression, which is the hardest one apparently, and then you move on, or I don't know, something like that. It's something like that. But basically, like, I was so set on that I was like constantly trying to be like, okay, I think I'm in the anger phase now. Okay, I think I'm in the, you know, bargain phase now. Like I was constantly trying to decide what phase I was in, but it was like, it could be like hour to hour I would change. Like, and that's how it was that 3rd week really for me is You know, like it'd be like one day I was really effing sad. The next day I was freaking angry. And then the next day I was happy and I felt like so good. Like I was on a high, like I can do this, like all these new things coming for me and all the possibilities. And then the next day I would be like absolutely just depressed. And it sucks. It always like was that sad, depressing one came after the high and the happiness. So like while I felt that high and that happiness, I would really enjoy it and be like, I'm loving every second of this because I know tomorrow I'm going to feel like absolute shit. and it's true. And it's kind of gotten better. I've been feeling a lot less of the sad days and a lot less of the anger. It's kind of just like calm now, you know, and my therapist, who I absolutely, by the way, love, she's amazing. The other day she paused and she's like, I'm trying to find the right words. And she's like, I'm sorry, but I cuss like a sailor and I'm trying to use my professional words. And she's like, not a lot of people like it when I use that kind of like talk. And I was like, oh my God, I love you. I was like, I've always been trying to censor myself through these as well. So speak freely, please. But she told me that basically you're going to feel all these things and you're going to have those modes of like, oh, I want him to want me back. Oh, I want him to ask me to be back so I can tell him no. You know, you're going to be wanting that glow up and this and that. And she's like, but eventually you're just not going to care anymore. You're going to feel numb. And she goes, and I don't mean numb as in like you're so angry that you're numb or you're so sad you're just numb. She's like, you're just not going to feel anything for him, like at all. Like you're just not going to care. And that is when you just know that you're just over it. And I'm like, man, I can't wait to get there. I really can't wait to get there. But I've been good. I feel like this last week for me was the strongest week I've had. I genuinely have felt every single day some more growth. Every single day I feel better and stronger and happier, and there's less of the crying, sobbing moments and whatnot. And I will say, like, every week I've been seeing my therapist online, and when she asks me, she always starts off by asking me, well, first she asks about my mom, which is so sweet, and then she says, how are you doing? And every week I've been like, not great, or even worse than last week. I feel like I'm cursed. Like, I literally feel like I sound like Eeyore, like, every time she asks me. But I was, like, driving my car on the way home, and my therapy appointment was in a couple hours, and I was so excited thinking about it, because I was like, oh, my God, when she asked me today, how are you? I'm going to be like, I'm freaking great, because I am. I feel so much better, you guys. I just do, and I didn't expect it to be this quick. And again, that's another thing I've been learning is like everybody says, everybody heals differently. Everybody's healing journey is completely different in length. Nothing is linear. You're going to have these roller coasters, these ups and downs, these circle backs. But I don't know, like I feel really good and that makes me really happy. So obviously I'm still sad. There's still some more drama and craziness going on. But let's get into, I guess, how it's been living with the enemy.
Streaming now on Peacock. Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie are back.
That's hot. Loves it.
For a show-stopping reunion that will prove putting on an opera is anything but simple.
We're really good at this.
One thing's for sure, they won't be upstaged.
Good to have you back. Come on, we've got a show to do.
Paris and Nicole, The Encore, a 3-part reunion special. Streaming now, only on Peacock.
This episode is brought to you by Skinny Pop Popcorn. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Oh, so light and crunchy. Skinny Pop Original Popcorn is the snack you've been searching for. Made with just 3 simple ingredients: popcorn kernels, sunflower oil, and salt. Snacking never felt or tasted so good. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Give yourself permission to snack and pick up Skinny Pop Original Popcorn today.
So as you guys know, John and I still have 5 or 6 months left in our lease. I was the one who went to the office and asked him about what the process would be like, and it's a lot. And it has its good and its bads. Like, you know, I really like that not one person can leave without the complete consent, signature, and everything of the other person, because I've had that happen to me before, or somebody tried to do that, and it's not fun. So it gives me comfort that, like, that just couldn't happen. So I can't be, like, left out to dry or left out to hang drying. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, basically I'm not gonna get fucked over by having to like stay and pay everything. But anyway, but it's been weird, and like my therapist said that as well. She's like, Well, she's also labeled John completely as 100% a narcissist by everything he's done and all of his moves and actions and the way he is. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I never really, I guess I always thought that could be the case, but now I'm like really seeing it. And she's like, there's different levels and, you know, places on the spectrum where there's like hardcore and you don't meet a lot of them. But she's like, he's definitely like not light. He's definitely like there in the middle. And that's what she was trying to decipher. Like, what was this move that he did? Like, did he just not think this through? Was it a spur of the moment? Was it like, why would you break up with somebody specifically when you know that you have to spend the next 6 months with them? Like, the timing of it all. And, you know, that had even been my thought. Like, I had even thought about breaking up or like, you know, possibly not doing another lease together with how things had been going. And just basically like me not getting treated the way I want to, me feeling like everything is coming up short and it's just me doing everything in this relationship. And I'm like, you know, it has been 5 years. I do love him, but is this what I want forever? Like, do I want to break it now and get out after this lease? And maybe we can go find people that are more like our personalities. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not fair to either of us because whatever. But even then, when I had that thought, I was thinking, okay, if by like, you know, give it your all, really try to make it work. If by like March, it's still not great, then you can have this conversation. Then you can start looking at separate places. But to actually like break up like that, just on a whim, no talking about it, literally give me a one freaking liner of like, my heart's not in it anymore. Like 5 years and that's all you tell me. Like, I still don't really have any closure. And, you know, I've thought about wanting to reopen that conversation and have the talk. But at this point, what does it matter? You know, it's over. It is what it is. I don't think closure is going to make me feel any better. It's just going to reopen old wounds. But it just really sucks to like have that like rug ripped out from under you after 5 years and a little shitty one-liner that's so generic. My heart's just not in it anymore. So I don't even know if I'll ever know the real reason. Was it another girl? Who knows? That's what a lot of people think. I don't like to think about that. Thinking about him with somebody else, especially that quickly, really guts me. Personally, I felt that maybe he just like didn't want to deal with the fight we were in, and he was like, it'll be easier to break up because I don't want to communicate because he freaking hates it. But all that being said, like, there's been some ways he's been acting, which I'll get into in a second here, that makes me think like, oh, maybe he really was just listening to his friends at work, or maybe he really did make a mistake and now he wants it back. But the thing that kills me is like the fact that he changed his freaking all of his profile pictures to a picture of himself and all of his statuses to single the very next day. Like, that's a statement. That's like, not only am I ripping your heart out, I'm also throwing it on the floor, spitting on it and stomping on it and taking a piss on it. Like, that was an effing statement. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever know that what he was thinking, what was going through his head, what was the purpose of all of that. I really don't. And I am really trying not to care. And I'm getting better at it every day. But here's an interesting thing that happened. So, you know, the first week after he broke up with me officially, he was just very cold. We had like a little bit of words one night that wasn't cool. Just trying to, you know, I'm hurt, I'm angry. We're trying to negotiate boundaries and be fair and respectful and this and that. So obviously he was in the second bedroom on his little air mattress, you know, kept the door shut constantly, was up there watching TV, literally would come down to eat dinner, sit at the island in the kitchen, and then go right back upstairs, say nothing to me. It was very cold, very awful, just shit, really. So that was like about the first week. And week 2, like, I'm already starting to feel good because, again, week 2 of our breakup is basically like week 4 for me because I already had been dealing with it and healing like it was a breakup, right? So, and I'll say, too, like, I know the thing about after a breakup, you have that glow up after you've been dumped, right? You get your revenge body going on. You start feeling good. Well, I started working on myself early this year. I don't even care. I'm going to tell my weight right now. I started this year. I had ballooned back up after, you know, a couple years. And it's hard. It's easy to do when you're in a relationship and you're always going out, you're always drinking, you're always eating bad. But I had done good. I'd gotten down a lot, but I ballooned back up. So I started this year at 186.7, I think. I was almost at 190 again, which 190 is like the highest in weight I've ever been. I officially, as of last week, am down 33.8 pounds. That's insane. Like, so, and I started the year off like that, right? I started, I think, like February, March, really being like, okay, I'm doing this. I'm getting it going. And it's taken me almost a whole year to get to this weight and to get to this body that I'm like so happy with. But it took time. It took commitment, and you had your struggles, but I did it. I freaking did it. And these last few weeks, I've lost like another, 3 to 5 pounds, just like the way I've been dealing with everything. I think I said it before too. When I went through a breakup before, like all I did was like go out and get blackout drunk, or I would like want to smoke weed or just eat really bad food and sit and watch TV and cry. But like this has been totally different. Like I know me and I know how I feel, and I know alcohol would just make it so much worse. You know, it feels good at the time after 1 or 2 drinks, and then you just get sad, you get angry, you wake up with a hangover and feeling like crap and gaining more weight. Like I don't want that. I don't want like this depressant to make me even more depressed, you know? So I've been staying away from alcohol basically completely. I had a couple drinks yesterday. It was really fun. But before that, it had been like 2 weeks since I had an alcoholic beverage, which is kind of crazy. But it feels great. I haven't smoked weed in months. I haven't had hardly anything to drink. I've been going to the gym like crazy, lifting weights, working out, like running so much, meditating. I just feel really, really good, and clean eating and cooking more for myself, like fresh cooked meals. Like it's just been a whole different kind of ball game for me, but it feels amazing, honestly. Anyway, but getting back to the point, that being said, I this glow up has been real, and it's been making me really happy. And so the guy said the first week that after John broke up with me, he was like all to himself and everything. Well, the second week he started being a little nicer. Like there was one day he came down, he's like, "Did you do something different with your hair?" And I was like, "No." Which is kind of funny because anytime I would do something different to my hair, he would never, ever notice. But now I didn't do anything different, and he's making these comments. I'm like, interesting. And then don't come at me, people, please, because I know I'm going to get some hate for this. Because I know it's really bad for you, but it makes me feel really good, and I just needed some vitamin D right now. Okay, so he was staring at me hard one day in the kitchen, and he was like, "Have you been tanning again?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Nice." And I'm like, interesting. It's just weird, right? And I mean, there's like a line of like, there's a line of living together and having no emotion. There's a line of living together and being nice and making it cordial. And then there's a line of like living together and then making comments like this. So that's how a week started, went by. And then last week got really interesting because every day it was like that. He comes down and starts sitting on the couch right next to me to watch TV while I'm down there, even when I'm watching Gilmore Girls, which he despises like probably most men. And, "Oh, your hair looks really good like that. I love it. Oh, thank you." And then, you know, another like, "Oh, your makeup looks good," or "Oh, this and that." Just all these like over the top compliments, which is very strange. And then a couple nights ago, he was very much like, you know, getting close to me. I was holding my bird, watching TV. Every night he's down there with me, like, "Oh, taste this. Oh, this is good. Try this." Just like, we're broken up. What are you doing? You broke up with me. Why are you being like this? He kept coming and like petting my bird and playing with him. And when he would do it, he'd be like touching my arm or touching my shoulder or getting too close, you know, so I'd back away. The cherry on top was that night, and I probably shouldn't be sharing this, but whatever. Because, you know, you guys know what I've been through. Remember me on the last podcast. Remember. He stays up all night, and I'm like, "I'm fixing to go to bed. Are you going to stay up and watch TV?" And he's like, "No, I'm going to bed too." I said, "Okay, I'm going to put the birds up and get ready for bed." He doesn't go to bed. He stays down there with me. So for half an hour, my birds are eating. I'm watching this Grand Ole Opry Christmas thing, and he would not go to freaking bed. So finally the birds start screaming. I'm like, "All right, I'm putting them up." And he's like, "Good night, bird friends." Like we're going to bed together like he used to do. What? We turn off the lights. I turn on my little phone flashlight. I start walking up the stairs, and this mother effer grabs my ass. I'm shitting you not. I'm walking upstairs. He's right behind me, and he full on grabs a booty cheek and squeezes. And like, it's like the world stopped. Like, I did not know how to react. My first reaction that I really wanted to do was like freaking turn around and slug the hell out of him or slap him across the face. Like, what are you doing? But it's like, I was so angry was the first emotion, but also confused, but also like hurt and betrayed. And like, how freaking disrespectful are you? You're going to break up with me and like I said, change your shit the next day on Facebook, on all your social media, make a point, treat me like garbage, and then you're going to still think you can touch me? Like, really? Oh, you guys, I didn't even know what to think. I didn't even know how to handle that or navigate it. And, you know, all these thoughts in my head is like, what is he doing? Is he wanting to get back together? Is he just wanting some booty for the next few months? Like, who is he to think he can freaking do that? Like, I'm not your property. I never was, but especially not now. Get off of me. So I just turned around. I was like, you can't do that anymore. And then he laughed like he thought it was funny or I was joking. And I said, no, I'm serious. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. You're right. I'm sorry. And then I just went to my room and I shut the door. And I'm not going to lie. It took me a long time to go to sleep. I was really shaken up by that. Like, I'm just so used to guys trying to take advantage. And I've been with a lot of douchebags like that. That was my whole thing back in the day. Like, I liked guys that treated me like that, which is so sick and awful. But I've grown so much to like, I never want to be with somebody like that again. And just the amount of disrespect, like what's actually going through your head right now? Like, what even was that? You know, like, I don't know. It really deeply upset me on so many levels. But anyway, I figured that after I handled it like that the next day he was going to go back to being like a dick again. And I was right. Very much door shut, staying to himself, not talking to me. I don't know if he was like shooting a shot thinking I'd be like, yeah, like, let's have sex. That'd be great. I love getting dumped and being treated like a piece of shit and then having sex with that person who did that to me. Like, that's my jam. Idiot. Anyway. So, that's what happened. And then now, a couple days later, he is going back to being nice again. You know, eating dinner next to me, sitting there watching TV and movies he doesn't like right beside me, made me popcorn. Like, I don't know, man. It's really messing with my head. And this is why I swear to God, if I just could win the lottery, even, I said $50,000, even $10,000, even like $10,000, I would break this lease if he'd agree to it, or just pay my part out and move out and get my own apartment, because like these head games are really messing with me. But I'm to the point now where it's just like such a turnoff. Like, what are you even doing, dude? Like, you have some real issues. You need help. You need therapy. You have some mental shit going on that you really need to get addressed for your own good and for every other girl you talk to the rest of your life. You need help. But it's sad to me because I don't think he's ever going to get it. But anyway, I digress. So basically, that's the way things have been. I've had a really good friend group through everything. Last weekend, I went to a girls' day out where we like went to my girlfriend's house, and there was like 5 or 6 girls that came over. We all made gingerbread houses. They all drank mimosas. I actually didn't even drink, which was so weird for me again. We watched Christmas movies, just shot the shit. It was so fun. I had the best day. It was an amazing time. Last night, I went to a Christmas parade where Jeeps were in, and got some good Mexican food after. And I don't know, just like I've been keeping myself busy, and to the point of like I feel like I'm doing too much now. You know, after the grieving happened, I definitely was like, okay, I'm not gonna nap anymore. I'm gonna go to bed early. I'm gonna go. I've been getting like my dental work done. I found a new doctor. I've been scheduling my OBGYN, like all this stuff, because obviously I'm gonna be off the insurance soon too, so that's fun. But that, and like just going to the gym constantly, going to get coffee. I'm starting to look at continuing education classes. Like I'm really keeping myself busy and trying to stay positive, lean into hobbies, lean into things that are going to help me in my future. And I think I'm just like kind of exhausting myself because I haven't really let myself rest and feel since those first couple weeks, which I probably need to. So anyway, but it's been good. I have a couple weeks coming off coming up. My bad. From work, and you know, it kills me having 2 weeks off and not taking a trip, but at the same time I really need to save money right now, obviously, to get out on my own again. It just would not be good. So I'm planning on just, you know, being healthy, getting up early, working out, healthy meals, just I don't know, it'll be an interesting couple weeks to just catch up on sleep and myself and continue my healthy habits. So there you go, guys. That is basically what has been going on in my life these past couple weeks. Once again, thank you from the absolute bottom of my heart. I am so grateful for you all. I don't know how I would have got through this without you guys. Like, I genuinely don't. Like, I feel sad for him because he did all this stuff, but I still do feel sorry for him because I feel like he doesn't really have that big of a support system, you know, outside of like, I don't know, like, maybe it's because he's a dick. I don't know. Either way, that's not my place to say or judge, but I'm just very, very grateful and thankful and such a lucky person to have such a giant support system. So genuinely thank you to all of you. And yeah, look, I just did it. I ripped off the Band-Aid, another podcast here. But this has been my healing journey so far. I know I've got a long way to go. I will keep you guys updated on it all as it continues. And I love you all. I genuinely do. And anytime you guys are going through something, please reach out to me because I would love to be here for you guys as you all have been for me. So, love you all. Happy holidays.